What if anger isn't just a feeling, but a thief? Not a smooth Ocean's 11 kind of thief. More like the annoying kind that steals your Wi-Fi password, eats your leftovers, and leaves the fridge door open. It sneaks in, drains focus, robs energy, chips away at health, and leaves nothing in return. We've all been there. Someone cuts him off in traffic, and suddenly he's starring in a Fast and Furious spin-off nobody asked for. A coworker interrupts mid-sentence, and the rest of the meeting is just his inner monologue writing the perfect comeback. Or worse, a stranger drops a nasty comment online, and boom, the entire afternoon vanishes. Anger doesn't just ruin a moment, it hijacks the whole day. But here's the twist. Reactions are optional. Choosing calm is like reclaiming hours of life that anger used to steal. That's where Stoic wisdom comes in. Today, we're diving into 10 ancient tools, used by philosophers, emperors, and everyday humans, that can help anyone disarm anger before it wrecks the day. Embrace willingness. Scene 1, traffic. He's stuck. The cars ahead aren't moving. His grip tightens on the wheel. Normally, irritation builds until steam should shoot out of his ears. We've all been there. That moment when you realize you've aged 10 years in a traffic jam. But this time, he does something different. He sighs, accepts it, and puts on a podcast. Suddenly, the jam becomes bonus learning time instead of a rage-fueled cage. Epictetus said, "Don't demand events happen as you wish. Wish them to happen as they do." That's Stoic speak for stop fighting reality. You don't control the traffic, but you do control whether you suffer through it or turn it into your personal TED Talk on wheels. 2. Stop judging. So much judgment is like pouring gasoline on sparks. Lazy, rude, careless. We've all silently labeled someone. A coworker walks in late again. He fumes. They don't care. They're selfish. Resentment rises until he learns they've been caring for a sick parent. Suddenly, the judgment crumbles like a stale cookie. Marcus Aurelius said, "You always have the option of having no opinion." Translation: sometimes the wisest thing to do is just mind your business. Before labeling someone, pause and ask, "Do I know the full story?" 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. If these ideas already shifted how you see your own reactions, this channel is basically a weekly toolkit for keeping peace intact. Subscribe, not because it's the thing to do, but because your time is too valuable to keep donating to irritation. Think of it as installing a firewall against wasted energy. 3. Let go of control. He argues with his partner about dishes. Forks up or forks down. Apparently, this is a hill people are willing to die on. He fumes when strangers drive too slow. He stews when the boss emails at 9 p.m. But none of that belongs to him. The Stoics drew a bold line. Control your own thoughts, choices, and actions. The rest? Not your circus. Not your monkeys. Write down 2 columns, what you control on the left, what you don't on the right. Next time anger sparks, check your list. If it's in the don't control column, let it go. Honestly, trying to control people is like trying to teach your cat algebra. Cute idea. 0 chance. 4. Expect imperfection. Marcus Aurelius literally started mornings bracing for annoying people. Today I will meet selfishness, mistakes, and interruptions. Even emperors had to deal with workplace drama. But we expect Instagram-level perfection. 1 wrong coffee order, and it's betrayal. The Wi-Fi cuts out during a Zoom call, and suddenly it's the worst day ever. Expecting imperfection flips the script. Life will glitch. People will slip. When you expect it, you're not shocked. Next time your latte comes out labeled Sharknado, smile. That's not failure. It's free comedy. 5. Own your feelings. We've all been there. Someone cuts ahead in line, and suddenly it's DEFCON 1 inside. Hours later, we're still ranting like it's a Netflix monologue. But here's the ugly truth. If a stranger can ruin your mood, you basically handed them the keys to your emotional house. Owning your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It means guarding them, protecting peace. Like it's your Netflix password. When hijacked, pause and literally think, I choose whether to keep this anger. That second can change everything. 6. Practice non-reaction. In a meeting, someone throws a sharp comment. His jaw tightens. Instinct screams, clap back, defend yourself. But instead, he waits, he breathes, he says nothing. That silence, that's Jedi-level strength. Seneca said, delay is the remedy for anger. Translation, don't feed the trolls. Sometimes silence leaves people more uncomfortable than any savage comeback. And honestly, that's its own victory. Flashback, Epictetus was a slave who turned his hardships into wisdom. If anyone had reasons to be angry at life, it was him, but instead, he taught freedom starts with controlling your reactions. Seneca was an advisor to an emperor, basically living in a daily soap opera of politics and drama. His advice? Delay anger, because rushing into it only makes things worse. Marcus Aurelius ran an empire and wrote a personal diary that still guides us 2,000 years later. Even the guy running Rome knew anger wasn't worth it. If they could practice this in situations way tougher than traffic jams, we can too. 7. Zoom out with perspective. We've all escalated small stuff until it felt life or death, like when the barista writes your name as Chad and your whole identity feels attacked. But step back. Will this matter in 10 minutes, 10 days, 10 years? Probably not. That zoom out breathes space back into the moment. 8. Channel anger into action. Anger becomes toxic when it circles. But it can fuel something better. We've all rage cleaned the kitchen, rage walked 10,000 steps, rage typed a letter we never sent. The Stoics would say, don't waste the fire, use it to forge something. Who even needs pre-workout powder when you can just open Twitter replies? 9. Remember how short life is. Seneca reminded us, life is long if you know how to use it. We've all spent hours arguing in our own heads. Then suddenly the day's gone. Netflix asks, are you still watching? And the answer is, no. I've been debating Kyle from accounting in my mind. Every hour wasted on anger is an hour of life traded away. Ask, is this really how I want to spend a finite afternoon? 10. Pre-game your triggers. Here's a bonus, Stoic move. Rehearse trouble before it happens. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of hardships. They'd picture being interrupted, insulted, delayed. Why? Because expecting it cushions the blow. We've all told ourselves, this time, I won't get mad. And then boom, the Wi-Fi glitches mid-zoom and we're Hulk again. But if you expect the glitch, anger never takes center stage. Think of it as emotional armor, rehearsed calm before the provocation ever arrives. Recap, here's the 10-tool Stoic toolkit. Accept what is, drop judgment, let go of control, expect imperfection, own emotions, practice non-reaction, zoom out with perspective, channel anger into action, remember how short life is, pre-game your triggers. That's not just philosophy. It's like downloading a 10-step cheat code for emotional peace. We've all felt robbed by anger before. Whole afternoons wasted, sleep stolen, relationships bruised. But anger only has as much power as the attention we give it. The moment we decide to shorten its lifespan, life gets wider. Anger's like autoplay on YouTube. You actually can hit stop, so test one tool tomorrow. Just one. If it works, come back for more. Subscribe for weekly reminders that life's too short to let anger run the show. And share this with the one friend who yells at their Wi-Fi router like it's a villain. They'll thank you later, because in the end, peace is the heist. Let's stop letting anger steal it.